Go ahead and get started. We're just gonna start by settling in. Taking a moment to make sure that your body is actually comfortable. And part of that might be tuning into the shoulders, the knees, the hips, and seeing if they need a pillow or something to support them. You're making some adjustments to make sure things are really held. And then as you settle in, just paying attention to your body for a moment. Are there any areas of tension that you might bring your attention to and see if they can release a little bit? They might not be able to, but if you notice that you're holding and some release is available, go ahead and allow that. Is there room for release in your jaw? In your shoulders or shoulder blades? Is there any space for release in your hips? Is anything able to let go in your knees? If so, you can let it go. If not, that's just fine. Now bringing your attention to your breath. Just attending gently to the normal, natural breath as it is. You don't need to breathe in any special way. Watching air come in and go out. It's the nature of the breath when you start to look at it that it might change. You might notice it getting shorter or longer or doing something else. If you do and that's tolerable, just watch it. See what it does. Now I'm going to invite you, if it's useful, to bring special attention to the sensation of cool air passing through your nostrils. So every time you breathe in, give some special attention to that. try to just really notice what that's like. The sensation of cool air brushing past the nostrils on the way in. I'm going to invite you now to bring your attention to the sensation of your lungs expanding as air enters. The feeling of your skin stretching, lungs stretching as air comes in. And to the degree that you're able, see if you can keep your attention on the whole in-breath. The physical sensation of air coming in through the nostrils and expanding in the lungs. Can you give it your full attention as you breathe in? And if you're able and it's useful, bring your attention to the way your body contracts as air leaves. For some people, that's a contraction in the stomach. For some people, in the lungs. Some people feel the whole body contract as air goes out. What is that sensation for you? You may even notice it in your shoulders. And finally, if it's useful and you're able, notice how air leaves your nose or mouth. Is there any sensation associated with that? You might feel a slight whooshing or air on the upper lip. to invite you to see if you can stay curious about one whole breath from the air coming in, the expansion, the contraction, and the air going out. Can you keep your attention on one breath and be curious about the sensations that come with it? And you might even try to stay curious for 2 whole breaths. Can you keep your attention on all 4 parts? For most of us, holding present attention on the breath for 2 breaths or more is actually a pretty big ask. It's very likely that in the middle of this process, you will find that you're not following or paying attention to the breath anymore. When that happens, I invite you to notice what pulled your attention. Maybe sound, maybe thoughts, maybe feelings, maybe physical sensations. And just put a gentle, general name on what pulled your attention. Thinking, sound, pain. And then return to the task of being curious about and attending to the breath. That moment of distraction is the central part of our practice. The moment when you realize you've been pulled away from attention to the breath, that is what we call mindfulness. Every time you notice, you're practicing. Maybe you get pulled away hundreds of times in a single sit, and that is what we're here for. The moment of noticing and returning. as you practice, I encourage you to be aware of what comes up when you notice you're distracted. Very often there's a chain that follows. So thinking and then judgment. I shouldn't be thinking. Sound. But then disappointment that I'm not in awareness anymore. You can name judgment. You can name disappointment. Those are moments of mindfulness, and then you return to watching the breath. Attempt nimbly not to get stuck in judgment or disappointment, but to name them like anything else, and then return to the breath.